Yeah, no, the J in the Bible does not get introduced until 1769. The Benjamin Blaney Oxford edition of the King James, 1769. That's when the J first comes into the Bible. So, and you can imagine, I mean, you would think, hey, that's pretty revolutionary. What are you doing with a J in there? Miles Coverdale spelled it I-E-S-U-S, Iesus. John Calvin spelled it I-E-S-U-S. King James spelled it I-E-S-U-S. The Bishop spelled it I-E-S-U-S. The Septuagint spelled it I-E-S-O-U-S. The Stephanus Textus Receptus spelled it I-E-S-O-U-S. The Beta Textus Receptus. The Desiderius Erasmus spelled it I-E-S-O-U-S. Where'd you get the J? Nobody said anything because the pronunciation was the same. Jesus. Jesus. See? And then, of course, typical with the British fashion, right? You got to keep in mind, the Brits, we always expect them to speak the Queen's English or the King's English. You know, maybe one or two people in the country do. Everybody else speaks Cockney, or they speak Birmingham, or they speak Manchester, they speak this. And so, for instance, we had a French prime minister. His name was Jacques Chirac. Jacques Chirac. You know, Frère Jacques, right? J-C-Q-U-E, Jacques Chirac. And the Brits, how did they refer to him? Jack Chirac. Yeah, you know, we were talking with Prime Minister Jack Chirac.
They were just messing with him.
Yeah. That's how they do it in London, right? Jack Chirac. Well, this is the same thing they did instead of Jesus, which was a Germanic pronunciation. Pretty soon it became a hard J. And particularly when it came to the United States, they were over the ocean. So just like our friend said, Enoch, they're not going to pronounce it Jesus because they're over the... I'm sorry, we pronounce J like this. J like jar. That's what it's going to be. See? And so you can kind of see it. You can kind of see how that mold all came in that direction. Either way, the Iesus in the Greek and the Iesus in the early text was a substitution for the underlying Hebrew name. And this is easily provable because you can look up Iesus in the Septuagint, the Greek Old Testament, and you'll see that the name Iesus appears there 177 times. And what do we know about that? It named Joshua. And Joshua had a Hebrew name. And his Hebrew name is Yahusha. Yahusha.
It's important. I mean, like the sounds are just like totally shifted. It's important. Like, but how else would you even know unless you really dove in that deep? And most people just overlook it and sweep it under. It's like, well, the context certainly matters about what we're talking about, and to look at it that deep would take. I don't think I could ever look that deep on my own.
Well, I can tell you that we didn't know we were going to look that deep when we got into this thing. It was like, well, what are we to do here? I don't know.